Beautiful souls, welcome to the sacred journey of Kal Mantra. Embrace divine grace. Let the celestial vibrations uplift your spirit and guide you toward inner peace, abundance, and divine blessings. Open your heart, chant with devotion, and awaken the infinite grace within you.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we are going on a seriously fascinating geographical and historical journey. We're going to take a deep dive into the geography, the cosmic myths, and the rich history of a very unique, incredibly tiny piece of land that holds a massively outsized place in human culture. So get ready, because we're about to unfold a story that spans literally centuries. So, let me ask you a question. Have you ever visited the world's smallest inhabited river island? Now, you might be picturing somewhere deep in the Amazon, right? Or maybe a secluded little European waterway. But actually, this geographical superlative sits right in the dead center of the mighty Brahmaputra River, right in the bustling city of Guwahati in Assam, India. How a tiny islet survives in the middle of one of the world's most powerful rivers is a story you kind of have to hear to believe. It really shows us the incredible resilience of human history and nature existing side by side. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll look at its status as the world's smallest river island, the mythological ashes of Kamdev, the Ahom dynasty's architectural marvels, the lost golden langurs, and finally, how you can actually journey to Umananda yourself. Okay, Section 1. A geographic marvel. The world's smallest river island. What makes this tiny speck of land so extraordinary isn't just its size, it's the fact that it sustains permanent human inhabitants. Specifically, a temple priest and his assistant live there, despite the massive, rushing waters of the Brahmaputra constantly threatening to swallow it whole during the flood seasons. Now, before we get into the ancient history, you should know this island has a few different names. Back in the colonial era, a pretty poetic British officer affectionately dubbed it Peacock Island. While he was exploring the river system, he looked at the island structure, which is dotted with these large, beautiful trees, and thought it perfectly resembled the splayed feathers of a peacock. It's a wonderful image, for sure, but it sets up a pretty stark contrast with the much deeper, ancient, and highly dramatic identity of the island that locals have revered for centuries. Moving right along to Section 2, the Ashes of Kamdev, Mythological Origins. The island's etymology is so cool because it reveals two entirely contrasting stories about the exact same place. On one hand, we have Umananda. This comes from Uma, which is another name for Lord Shiva's wife, Parvati, and Ananda, meaning joy or happiness. Legend says Shiva created this island specifically for his wife's pleasure. But then look at the second name, Basmachal. Basma means ash, and Akal means hill, the hill of ashes. So you have to wonder, how does a place of supreme joy become a hill of ashes? Well, according to the ancient texts of the Kamakhya Purana, Lord Shiva was residing on this exact island, deep in intense meditation. Then along comes Kamdev, the Hindu god of love, who made the incredibly perilous mistake of interrupting Shiva's meditative trance. Irked by this disruption, and that's probably an understatement, Shiva opened his devastating third eye and incinerated Kamdev right on the spot, literally turning the god of love to mere ashes. This intense, fiery legend is exactly how the island earned that famous moniker, Basmachal.
Section 3. The Ahom dynasty's architectural marvel.
The physical resilience of this island is truly remarkable. Let's look at the timeline. Back in 1694, the Ahom king, Gadadhar Singha, heard local tales of a sacred Shiva lingam discovered under a bael tree, so he ordered the construction of the Umananda Temple. That structure stood proudly for over 200 years, until 1897, when a devastating earthquake severely damaged it. But it didn't stand ruins for long. A wealthy local merchant stepped in shortly after the quake and lovingly restored the temple back to its former glory. Now, what resulted from that reconstruction is a really fascinating juxtaposition of religious traditions. See, the original temple, built by the Ahom dynasty, was strictly rooted in Shaivism, the worship of Lord Shiva. However, the local merchant who funded the rebuilding had his own devotions, so he went ahead and added Vaishnavite inscriptions to the interior. Today, the temple stands as a totally unique, harmonious blend of its original Shaivite roots and its later Vaishnavite additions. It's just a beautiful reminder of how different faiths and traditions can respectfully share the exact same sacred space. And, it's not just the inscriptions. The stunning craftsmanship scattered all across the island's rocks physically anchors the spiritual history we were just talking about. Local Assamese artisans adorned the rock walls with these incredibly intricate engravings of Hindu gods like Ganesha, Shiva, Parvati, and Surya. You can also find beautiful sculptures of Lord Vishnu and his 10 incarnations. It feels like every single inch of this tiny island is carved with devotion.
Section 4. The Lost Golden Langurs, an ecological tale.
0. It's a surprising and honestly pretty poignant statistic. For a really long time, this island was actually famous for a very specific animal. But as of the year 2020, 0 remain. Let me explain what happened here.
Umananda was once a sanctuary for the highly endangered golden langur. According to local folklore, a pair of these primates were brought over to the island by two youths back in the 1980s. Living among the island's ancient tamarind trees, they adapted remarkably well to the human presence around them. They were considered sacred by a lot of people, and they survived on a diet of leaves, fruits, and, this is kind of funny, cakes offered to them by the visiting tourists. At one point, their population grew to 13. They became this beloved, quirking part of the island's ecosystem, a really charming example of human and animal coexistence. Sadly though, over the years, their numbers slowly dwindled until the very last golden langur on the island passed away in 2020.
Finally, Section 5, Journey to Umananda today. So if you're feeling inspired, it is surprisingly simple to access this seemingly remote island. Step 1, you get yourself to the city of Guwahati. Step 2, head over to the riverbanks, specifically Kachari Ghat or Uzan Bazar Ferry Ghat. And step 3, hop on a ferry. What's really fun is taking one of the local country motorboats. They are affectionately called a boot booty because of the distinct boot boot sound the engine makes. In just 10 surprisingly simple minutes across the mighty Brahmaputra, you literally step out of a bustling modern city and onto an ancient, sacred rock. Now, if you're planning a trip, timing is everything. If you want to see the island absolutely vibrating with energy, you've got to come during Mahashivaratri. It's their biggest annual celebration, and it draws thousands of devotees. Shravan Mondays are also deeply spiritual, with folks fasting and praying. But on the flip side, if you want a peaceful, scenic retreat to just soak in the history and those gorgeous views, definitely target the cooler winter months between October and March. The weather is fantastic, and that boat ride is incredibly tranquil. To wrap things up, I want to end our explainer with this incredibly powerful local proverb. Brahmaputra is a servant of Shiva. If he is kept satisfied, all disasters will be prevented. It's said that the most devastating floods of the Brahmaputra have never, ever been able to breach the Umananda Temple premises. Locals firmly believe that if Umananda ever drowns, the entirety of Guwahati will be underwater. It leaves us with a really provocative thought to ponder, doesn't it? As long as this tiny, resilient island withstands the mighty river's raging floods, will it truly continue to protect the massive city of Guwahati from destruction? Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey to Umananda today. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.
Struggling with health, financial worries, wealth, relationships, or career? Don't let these challenges hold you back. Harness the ancient power of authentic Rudraksha, planetary remedies, and Vedic astrology to restore balance and attract success. But act fast. These sacred remedies are in limited stock. Visit callmantra.com today to transform your life.
If this resonated with you, join our spiritual journey. Your support keeps us growing. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So like, comment, share with friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.